In January, we did my annual 31 Days to a More Effective Compliance program where we looked at one thing you could do each day. Well, we're back with the Compliance Tip of the Day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. In the chaotic world of 2025 and beyond, compliance will become even more important, and you staying on top of your game will help your company move forward. Now a word from the sponsor of the Compliance Podcast Network, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Welcome to the Compliance Tip of the Day. Today we look at how compliance can build a data-driven culture. So what are some of the key elements of doing this? Well, first of all, let's start with the DOJ's 2024 update to the evaluation of corporate compliance programs, which mandated that compliance programs must be data-driven, proactive, and continuously monitored. But if an organization does not have a culture of data-driven decision-making, compliance will always be playing catch-up. So how do you foster such a culture? Well, obviously, it starts with the top, leadership. Leadership must be proactive, both for compliance and for the business as well, because leadership must lead the data-driven nature of your culture program. 2, data empowerment, making compliance everyone's job. For compliance to be truly embedded in company culture, every employee, not just compliance officers, must be able to access, understand, and act on data. This means focusing on 3 levels of readiness, which are, of course, data readiness, ensuring high-quality data is available. 2, analytical readiness, training employees to interpret compliance data and make informed decisions. And infrastructural readiness, investing in data-driven compliance tools, automation, and real-time risk monitoring. Number 3, collaboration, breaking down compliance silos. Too often, compliance sits in its own bubble, siloed from operations, and the DOJ has directly spoken to this in the ECCP. But in an AI-driven world, compliance must be embedded in literally every department, from finance to HR to product development to supply chain, particularly in the age of Trump, with massive dislocations and changes literally day by day. A major barrier to compliance collaboration is language. Compliance teams often use technical language, which is different from business language. So what are your key takeaways for today? Well, obviously, leadership must be leading, and it all starts at tone at the top. This is not something new or different, and the same is true for a data-driven culture of compliance. 2, compliance must be accessible and understandable and actionable for all employees. You have to target the employees who need the training, but you have to give them training in a manner that they will understand and they can execute on going forward. And finally, cross-functional collaboration is essential. There must be a wide variety of corporate functions involved in your data-driven compliance efforts and your data-driven culture. And indeed, the Department of Justice, as far back as 2020, said that compliance must have access to all data silos. And now the thinking has evolved that this needs to be true literally across your company. So how are you making data available to your employee base through your data-driven compliance program? This is Tom Fox again. This new podcast, Compliance Tip of the Day, will appear daily. And frankly, it's one of the most requested topics for a podcast that I get on a regular basis. It's going to be short and sweet with one tip with some takeaways that you can utilize to implement into your compliance program. If you've got a question that you would like a tip on, please submit them through our website, and we will use them in an upcoming episode. The compliance tip of the day is a production of the award-winning Compliance Podcast Network. Finally, this podcast contains promotional material.